We're going to up the cash prizes from 500,000 to 750,000, and the total cash prizes will go from $1 million to $1.5 million. Because I'm sick and tired with all this waiting around. I want bodybuilders to train all year long really hard and to be able to make $750,000 for first prize, then go to the Arnold Classic in England, the European Arnold Classic, and make another $250,000.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So as if this week wasn't exciting enough, as if this month wasn't exciting enough, with all these bodybuilding shows, the Pittsburgh Pro, the New York Pro, Cali Pro, all these shows that we've got this month, another massive bodybuilding story pops up in May, and it's this brand new announcement from Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I think this is by far one of the biggest, most important announcements of the year. They are raising the prize money again, this time very significantly, by $250,000 over this year's Arnold Classic, which was $500,000, which was already a massive jump in prize money. They're raising it to $750,000, $150,000 more than the 2024 Mr. Olympia, which raised it to $600,000, I think in an obvious attempt to try to one-up the Arnold again. But not only that, but just a few weeks after the Arnold Classic Ohio, they've already announced that they're bringing back the Arnold Classic UK towards the end of March. And Arnold just casually announced here that he's going to be bumping that prize money up to $250,000. I'm going to go ahead and roll that full clip right here, uninterrupted, to give you guys full context. And we'll talk about it a little bit deeper the second half of this video and kind of go into everything he said here.
So, can you believe that in 1965, when Joe Weider created the Mr. Olympia competition, the first professional bodybuilding show ever, 1965, gave $1,000 as cash prize. And then in 1975, 10 years later, when I won for the 6th time the Mr. Olympia competition in South Africa, I still got $1,000. I mean, it was wild. The sport didn't grow. So this is why I decided to retire from bodybuilding and to go and organize with Jim Lorimer the World Championships, Mr. Olympia, Mr. Universe, and all that. The first year, 1976, this is 50 years ago, we right away went up to $5,000. The next day to $10,000, then to $20,000, to $50,000, and now at the Arnold Classic World Bodybuilding Championships, we're up to $500,000 in cash prize, first prize. Altogether, $1 million in cash prizes. But now, since we have the 50th anniversary coming up, 50-year anniversary, 1976, 2026. I mean, think about that. If the 50th anniversary coming up, we're gonna go and do something very special. We're gonna up the cash prizes from 500,000 to 750,000, and the total cash prizes will go from $1 million to $1.5 million. Because I'm sick and tired with all this waiting around. I want bodybuilders to train all year long really hard and to be able to make $750,000 for first prize, then go to the Arnold Classic in England, the European Arnold Classic, and make another $250,000 to make $1 million. See, that's what I call changes. I want those bodybuilders not to just train all year, make the sacrifices and sweat and pump up and all this stuff, then go to an auditorium that is full of empty seats. No, I want it to be packed. That's why it is so important for the Arnold Classic to go and increase the amount of spectators that come so it's packed, because I see it as something wild. We want to have bodybuilders and the spectators all kind of go crazy there, create excitement. We don't want any of this fluff and the smoke and the this and that on the stage. No, we don't need any of that. What we want is just a simple stage. It's between the bodybuilding champion and the audience. The fans. That's what this is all about. This is why we're going to pump up this thing. We have the biggest sports and fitness festival in the world. I mean, think about it. We have tens of thousands of athletes participating in different sports, and we have over 200,000 spectators coming there over a period of 3 days. The greatest in the world, and we're going to continue pumping it up. So let the others chase us. We are always going to be the leaders. Hasta la vista, baby.
For first place, giving bodybuilders the opportunity to compete in both Arnolds within the same month and potentially win $1 million between just 2 bodybuilding shows. And I think that Arnold made a very interesting point in the beginning of this video where he says when he was competing at the Olympia, from his first Olympia to his 6th, the prize money did not change at all. It was $1,000 the first time he won, $1,000 the 6th time he won. And he actually says this was the reason why he left bodybuilding, is because the prize money wasn't growing, and the sport wasn't growing, nothing was changing, and that's when he got into being a promoter himself with Jim Lorimer, and that was one of the reasons why he took kind of a behind-the-scenes role, and immediately they bumped up the prize money to $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And it seems like that's what he's trying to do here, kind of in these twilight years of his life. Later in life, he's still really leading the charge and making big changes in bodybuilding. And these are not small jumps. And I've said this before, but I think this type of competition between shows is very important for the growth of bodybuilding overall, for the fans, for the athletes. The fact that they're pushing the Olympia this hard, and make no mistake, they're directly pushing the Olympia. When they announced they were bumping it to 500,000, the Olympia announced that they were bumping it to 6. And just like Arnold said in those early days of the Olympia hadn't really changed their prize money for the better part of a decade. They bumped it up to $400,000 in 2015 from $275,000 in 2014. So Phil Heath back in 2015 was winning $400,000. Derek Lunsford in 2023 won $400,000. It didn't change until 2024 where Samson won 6. So for 9 Olympias, Sean Roden, Brandon Curry, Big Ramy, Hadi Chupin, Derek Lunsford, Phil Heath, the prize money didn't change. And then the year that Arnold bumps it up to 5 at the Arnold Classic, you finally see a $200,000 jump in prize money. This is a direct result of the competition between these two shows. In Arnold bumping this prize money up to $750,000, it almost forces the Olympia to match that and dramatically increase their prize money again, or it forces the Olympia to exceed that. Otherwise, you can make a strong argument for the Arnold being the #1 show if they're paying the most prize money. And another interesting part about this video was Arnold said towards the end that we're going to continue pumping it up. We're going to continue to be the leader, and we're always going to be #1, and the rest can follow our lead. So I wonder, and this is just kind of my loose interpretation of it, but I wonder if that means they're going to keep increasing the prize money in perpetuity to exceed the Olympia just indefinitely. If whatever the Olympia, if the Olympia bumps it up this year to whatever number, then maybe the next year the Arnold bumps it up past that and continues to just propel that prize money up indefinitely. And I think that's really the appeal of Arnold here, is I think that it becomes pretty evident that Arnold is doing this for the love of the game. I don't think this is something that is, it's not like they're getting a massive ROI, if any ROI, by doing this. I don't think this is, making their profit greater by bumping up the prize money this much. I think it's pretty clear that Arnold is just doing it for the love of the game, and he wants to see the sport grow. So he's making direct changes to achieve that. And I think if anything, making these changes, they're probably losing money on this. This is probably, I would imagine this is probably Arnold coming directly out of pocket himself to bump up this prize money the same way that he came directly out of pocket the year that COVID shut down the Arnold Expo, and Arnold came out of pocket to still make sure the bodybuilding show happened. That was something he did just for the love of the game. And I also thought it was interesting how Arnold kind of said, he kind of threw in there, We don't want this big, noisy, loud stage. He even mentioned smoke on stage in his video here. And he said, we just want the best stage for the bodybuilders and the fans. And I think, again, that shows that Arnold is kind of listening to the fan feedback of what people want. And again, making those changes for the love of the game. And there's been this big conversation about this kind of mythical number in bodybuilding. Will we ever see a bodybuilding show pay $1 million for a first place prize money? And I would say that 5 years ago, that seemed like something that would be decades away. It seemed like something that was a really far-fetched idea, just based on the rate of growth that we had seen in bodybuilding up until this point. It was so slow as far as the growth of the prize money. $1 million for first seemed, like I said, decades away. Realistically, if we see the Olympia bump up their prize money beyond the $750, so let's say they go $850, I wonder if at that point the Arnold just bumps up their prize money to $1 million for the following year, 2027. Or even beyond that, I wonder if this prompts the Olympia to bump their prize money to $1 million this year. Because at this rate, $250,000 is a 50% increase from $500,000 the year prior. That's a massive jump year to year. And I think at that point, whatever the Olympia bumps it up to, if they bump it up to 800, 850, 900, whatever they bump it up to, if they do that, I think at that point, Arnold just says, okay, we're doing $1 million next year. So I think there's a good possibility that within the next 2 years, you could see both the Arnold and the Olympia have $1 million first place prize money. Where, like I said, if you just go back a couple years ago, 2023, it was only $400,000 to win the Olympia. I mean, these are pretty historic, massive changes. And I mean, even if you go back to the 90s, from 1990 to 2009, the prize money didn't change from $100,000 except to go up to $155, I should be exact there. So that's almost 20 years of the Olympia where the prize money only was increased by $50,000 over 20 years of the Olympia. In 1 year, Arnold is increasing it $250,000 on top of a already $500,000 prize money. This is not a small thing. And I think the other question at this point is, between those two shows, with the prize money being that crazy in the month of March, $750 at the Arnold, $250 at the Arnold UK, what bodybuilder in their right mind is not competing at the Arnold? Who is sitting this out? So that's the other thing to consider here too, is what will the difference even be between the Arnold and the Olympia lineup at this point, with this type of prize money and the opportunity to also do the UK show and make it $1 million? Which bodybuilders are sitting this out? Who is passing up this opportunity? This lineup is going to be as good as the Olympia. There's no way that anybody misses this. And it's not only just the Olympia in the Arnold. We're seeing these changes across the board. We're seeing six-figure prize money at the Dubai show. We're seeing $100,000 at the Pittsburgh Pro. We're seeing the New York Pro bump their prize money up to $30,000. This is instituting change across the board in bodybuilding. And like Arnold said at the end of that video, the rest are going to follow our lead. You're already seeing that happen. All the other shows are bumping up their prize money, or at least the ones that want to be considered the bigger shows in the sport. You're seeing them follow his lead. If you want an elite level lineup, you got to pay these guys. So I'm very, very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this prize money. Do you think the Olympia is going to bump theirs up? This is a pretty crazy announcement. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel, and consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.